Hey everyone, this is Rob John Webb here for Waxidus Music, and what I'm going to show you today is a little tip on how to make your Rhodes or your pianos, whatever, sound a little bit more interesting. So, for example, when you've got a Rhodes keyboard set of chords playing, or a little riff playing, and it's just kind of static and it's too flat, you know, and you want to make it a little bit more bendy and a little bit more, you know, vibrant, then just one of the quick ways to do it, obviously you can use lots of different effects, you know, wah things and stuff like that, but one that I've been using lately is from the utilities pack, and it's in the audio effects rack in the modulation and rhythmic section, and it's called the phaser, the crossover phaser. Now all I've done with this is I've just automated it and just given it a little bit of life, so it just makes the track move more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demo it for you now without the crossover on. This is just the natural electric piano Mark II that's built into Ableton. So we'll have a look at that, and this is how it sounds like this. It's just 3 chords, just straight stabs, flat notes. So obviously you don't want it to be as static as that, so you want it to have some movement throughout the track. And just a nice quick way of doing it is just to, you know, you can use any kind of phaser, but I've used the crossover phaser, and that sounds like this now. It just gives it the little bend. And if you can see, what I've done is, all I've done is to create that bend is to put on the phaser rate and move around the parameters and all of the dots to make different patterns. So it goes up. So obviously the lower it is down here on the phaser rate, it will be you know, static, and you bring it up. But what I've done is you bring it up on the longer notes, it has more of an effect. So if you've got 4 chords, for example, that are playing like, you know, let's have a look. You can hear the that's what a Rhodes should have anyway, but honestly with a lot of the Ableton ones, they just come quite flat. So if you've got longer notes, then you know you want to add the parameters going up slightly there. So just move them up. Obviously the higher up you go, the more wobbly it gets, because the rate gets higher, like that. So obviously we don't want to go too high. You just want to keep it around the, you know, if you're looking at the 75% mark, if you imagine it's from 0 to 100. So keep it flat for the most, but then you could push it up slightly here, and it's just a nice little touch just to make your tracks a little bit more exciting. And then obviously you want to put something else underneath to make it have a little bit more emotion. So I've got some strings, and what I've done with the strings is I've done some attack. I've put the attack right up so that there's a slow attack. So the string, with the strings on Ableton, they come in and they're just super fast. The attack's off and they're just flat legato strings. So you want them to have a little bit more smoothness coming down. So in terms of that, you're just giving the track a little bit more, you know, a bit more smooth sort of blending, so that things aren't just coming in straight away, fast attack, and the Rhodes is bending and it's wobbling, so it gives it more of a dramatic, emotional, soulful appeal. Now if I take off, you know, the attack from that, if I just quickly just delete the automation on that, and I just turn that off, that's what you're left with. It's just static, and it's just all in there together, and it shouldn't be in there together. It just needs to be, you know, nicely blended, nicely moved around and swished around and so forth. And then let's just do the attack on that again, and I'm just going to bring the attack right up and just slowly bring it down and push it back up and slowly bring it down on the last chord like that. And it gives it, you know, it's nice for mixing it, so when you put your bass on and things like that, everything's not all in the same area. So let's just put that on, put a kick on. And then let's put a lead line on top. so on. You know, that lead line there, by the way, is from the Viking, and it's called the Neon Lead in the perks section. So the Viking's a free VST. You want to get hold of that, go and grab that, because that's available from anywhere for free for both Mac and PC. So it's got some cool lead lines in as well. So yeah, just do that with your Rhodes and your strings. You know, give them attacks and some phases, and just move them about a bit so that they're not static and they're not, you know, boring. Yeah, it's boring, doesn't it? So, and also you could move it about over here. So for example, if you had a breakdown here and you've got the crossfader on, so the crossover phaser, so then what you would want to do is change, let's look at the frequency. Brings it up, goes higher, put some feedback on it, that makes it more whistly, gets more depth, and then a little bit of phaser phase. Very subtle, the phaser phase, and the phaser intensity. Let's look at that. There you get that little wobble in there. Very old school. So you know, you can move all those things about as well, but obviously just keep it subtle and just use the phaser rate and just wobble it about and stuff, so forth. So that's another little tip for you. I hope you've taken from that. Any questions, just leave a comment in the box below and get in touch with me, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.